What are you doing?
What? Nothing. I was just gonna...
You were about to click on that dashboard button, weren't you?
I mean, come on. I was just gonna check and see what my current analytics were. It's not that big a deal.
Oh, this is a mistake. You know it's a mistake. It's always a mistake.
You guys are making a bigger deal about this than necessary.
Oh, good. It's been a while since I've had some decent to spare.
Yeah, you know this shit's just gonna make you depressed, right?
That's not true.
Please don't do this, Nico. Think about your sanity.
Don't do it. Don't you freaking do it.
Look, it's been a while. I'm gonna check it, okay? And who knows, things might have turned around a bit since last I checked, all right? I worked hard on that last video. I'm sure it paid off.
Well, we tried.
Oh, I've got my popcorn. I'm so hyped.
I can't look.
Ugh, I'm gonna need a cold brew for this one.
Should have listened. I hate checking my analytics. I really do, man. I hate it. I hate it every time. And I feel like I'm not the only content creator that feels that way. In fact, I would actually go as far as to say that checking my analytics is probably one of the most stressful things as a content creator that we can do. And I always find it interesting that I really don't see too many other creators actually talk about that kind of stress. And I think the reason is likely that a lot of creators don't want to give off the impression that they're objectifying their fan base. Like it's all about the views and the likes and the subs and none of that other shit, right? Next thing you know, you're gonna start sounding like those YouTubers that are like,
Hey y'all, it's your boy NicoB here, back with a brand new video. Remember to smash that like button, leave a comment, recommend my video, buy all my merch, and sell me a piece of your motherfucking soul. Come on, who's the real fan here? Come on.
and of course, none of us want to come across like that, right? However, in reality, there isn't a YouTuber that doesn't care about their stats, all right? There just isn't. In the end, the statistics are our best understanding of how well we're doing in a community, how well people are receiving our content, how quote unquote popular our current series or videos are. And I think every YouTuber slash streamer wants to feel like that they are continually growing and continually bringing in new people and constantly going up in the number of views. However, the very harsh reality of that is that that doesn't happen. It's actually not feasible for anyone to actually expect that their channel will always grow and will never stagnate or plateau at any point. Even the largest of content creators have run into moments where they hit ruts, where they see a pushback from the community, where they see a decrease in the numbers. And as much as we try our best to avoid that happening, it is an unfortunate inevitability. And it is that inevitability that gives us so much stress. So much stress. And I gotta say, the changes to YouTube's analytics, it really hits it home harder than it ever has before. Just the fact that the moment you go in your dashboard and look at the most recent video, it basically will tell you how it's been doing. And sometimes it'll just straight tell you to your face, yeah, if you're a regular viewer, check out this video. Also, I fucked your mom last night and I burned down your childhood home. Oh well. Win some, you lose some. And the unfortunate thing is, a lot of times you don't always really have the answer or really know why a video or a series or whatever is doing particularly bad in the moment, because the YouTube landscape is constantly changing, dictated by an algorithm that I'm not even sure the people who created it have any idea how it works. And the funny thing about the analytics themselves too is I feel like, and I don't know how true this is, but I've heard a saying that people tend to have stronger reactions to getting bad news than they do to receiving good news. And I feel like that's never been more true than in this moment. Every single time I check analytics. This is what happens when my numbers are doing pretty good. Oh, hey, people really like that last video I made. Cool. All right, what am I working on next? And this is what happens when I don't do so well. Oh God, that last video did awful. Are people starting to get bored of this series? Shit, maybe I should switch to something else. But if I switch to something else, am I losing my edge? Trying to ban YouTube forever and go fucking demon die? What can I do? What the hell can I do? What the hell should I do? People are super pissed because of the criticism I made. Am I losing my edge? What can I do? There's nothing more disheartening than having a video or something that you ended up putting a lot of time into or put a lot of effort into just to receive a very lukewarm reaction from your audience. I will say though, overall, just speaking for myself, that usually isn't so much of an issue for me, as most of my content is let's plays and, you know, walkthroughs, meaning that most of my video content is generally the same idea, right? It's not like I did anything specifically amazing this episode, except for maybe a super extra funny moment. But generally those moments tend to come when I'm posting something that I consider different. Like this video, right? And I can already imagine the YouTube algorithm looking at this video and being like, what the fuck is this shit? You think you're a commentary channel? Bitch, you play video games. Get this fucking bullshit out of here. But I wanted to talk about this anyway, because I do think it's something that is on a lot of creators' minds all the time, every day. But it's not something we ever really talk about. It's hard not to spiral down this rabbit hole of questioning yourself and wondering whether you're making the right content or doing the right thing or saying the right thing or engaging in your audience enough or whether you're being funny enough anytime you start to see a dip in your analytics. And if I'm speaking on a personal level, currently at the moment, I am really having a rough time with my rate of new subscribers. For whatever reason, just the past year or two, my subscriber rate has just gone way down. Just a percentage of what it used to be. And I really have no idea what to make of it. I don't know if it has to do with perhaps my change in schedule. My video schedule hasn't been super consistent. Maybe it has to do with YouTube just not showing my content off as much. Could it have to do with me? Did I curse too much? And this is despite having some pretty popular series at the time, like 13 Sentinels, Amori, and even Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Despite those videos doing fairly well, they really didn't do much to actually grow my channel much more. And I really have no idea why. And this is the kind of thing that can be almost maddening. And the god honest, awful truth of it, right? The terrible truth of it is, despite all these quandaries that we ask ourselves, we don't really know what the answer is, because it really isn't up to us. It's up to YouTube and their algorithm. That's really what dictates the success of a channel on this platform. And there's so many things that go into that algorithm that determine it, whether it be audience retention, whether it be the topic at hand, whether it be the age rating of the content, all to determine if your video is something that someone will want to click on or not, and whether your video shows up in the related tab. Now, I just want to make clear that this is not meant to be a critique against YouTube or Twitch or any of these other platforms on transparency. To be fair, the analytics that are provided by all these groups is substantial. They pretty much tell you all the information you could possibly want to know about your current videos and how well they're doing. In fact, you might even say they're doing too good of a job. However, the problem doesn't lie with YouTube or with the algorithm or even with the analytics themselves. It lies with us. It's a human problem, because we as humans, we just love, we feel like we need to understand everything, and we need to figure out why everything is the way it is and what we can do to change it to make it perfect or make it the best shit ever, so that our channels can always be on the up and up. And I think it hits individual creators harder than it probably does massive companies, because when it's your own channel and your own baby, you care for it a lot more personally than I think a giant company would about a product or whatever they're trying to sell. And it's hard not to feel incredibly demoralized when the thing that you're putting so much of your heart and your energy and your love into is just not hitting the heights that you feel like it should. However, if I may, I would like to maybe impart some words of advice at the off chance that some random creators happen to come by this video. While I am by no means the largest channel on this platform, I think I would at least consider myself a relative YouTube veteran at this point, having done this shit for over 9 years. But I do have a few tips that I think might help for when you're feeling that stress when your numbers aren't hitting where you feel like they should be. First and most simple, limit how much you actually look at your analytics. I'm not saying don't look at your analytics, all right? We have to look at them at some point. It's an important tool for any creator. But also, don't be sitting there refreshing the page every few minutes, watching your numbers rise and fall, all right? You're gonna drive yourself fucking crazy doing that. Hell, I wouldn't even recommend looking at it on the daily. I would recommend at most maybe a couple of times per week. And along those same lines, don't set your dashboard as your main homepage, all right? Just don't. What I do instead is I actually set it to just my video page. And while I still can see the general analytics for each video there, I don't get nearly as much in-depth information as I do on my dashboard. Nor do I have to look at YouTube's snarky ass messages if my shit isn't up to snuff. Another suggestion, do not compare your channel growth to other people's channel growth. It doesn't do any good and it's completely irrelevant. Everyone's channel is different. Everyone is going to grow at a different rate. Don't let yourself get depressed because it took you 6 months to get 1,000 subscribers and some Joe Smo over here got like 800,000 subscribers in 6 months? The answer isn't that your content is inadequate. It's simply that the algorithm favored him in that moment. And honestly, there's a lot of benefit to having just even a slower trickle of growth than there is a giant boom, because a lot of times it ends up leading to a much more close-knit fan base than you would if you just suddenly got massive. And I guess the other thing, and probably the most important piece of advice I have to give, is numbers aren't everything. While it may hurt and it may suck looking at a video or content or seeing that you're not doing as well as you have in the past, it doesn't mean that your fans are giving up on you, or that you're necessarily even doing as badly as you may think you are. It feels like we as humans have a tendency to make the biggest deal out of the littlest thing. And I feel like in moments like this, sometimes it can even be a benefit to just step away for a bit and just take some time to remember what it is that you love about the work that you do. Whether you have 100 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers, I think most of us make these videos because we like making content, because we like seeing people react to our content and seeing an engagement from our audience. Even if we're not necessarily growing at an insane rate, or our videos aren't showing up the related as often as they used to, or even if our views aren't in the same level as they were before, as long as we're enjoying putting our content out there, and as long as people are still enjoying what we put out there, it's all really kind of matters, right? Because our fan base isn't just a number, they're the lifeblood of our communities, because inevitably their happiness is what really matters most to us. We want to see people love our content as much as we enjoy making it. That's the magic of being a content creator, because when you see that, when you feel that, it doesn't get any better. It really doesn't. So just remember that, you know? This is something I have to tell myself a lot too. When I get really kind of down and bummed out about the analytics, and just know that your real fans, the people who just truly love your stuff, will always be there for you. And if you decide to pivot, and if you decide to change your content or upload something totally different and off the beaten path, even if you end up losing some subscribers or you lose some viewers, your true fans will stick with you through thick and thin. And I think that's how you know you're doing all right. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, something that kind of been on my mind. So hopefully you guys took at least a little something from this. And as always, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Hopefully this helped maybe somebody out there who makes videos or also does this crazy shit. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.